Here I'm going to talk more about event handlers. Now, to this point, everybody's familiar with creating an event handler for a button click. You double click on the button, it creates your event handler, and you go ahead and you enter your code right here. So other controls have event handlers as well. Let's say I double click on this text box. See what it does? It executes a text box changed event. So code's going to happen in here when somebody enters text. Okay, let's run this. And as soon as I start to enter text, that goes into my text box text changed event, and my message pops up. Now notice I have this guy sitting out here, and in a lot of your code I see these empty event handlers sitting there because you accidentally click somewhere. Like if I click on my form, that creates a form load event. So any of these event handlers that are empty and aren't doing anything, you really should take out. They're not hurting anything, but looks a little odd to have them there. I'm going to talk about this checkbox. I'm going to just, if you'll see here, this creates a CheckChanged event. So when somebody clicks on it, it'll execute this code. So let me show you what I mean. So here I'm going to put message box show you clicked on the checkbox. And now let me run my code. And when I click here, see, you clicked on the checkbox. But look what happens here. You clicked on the checkbox. Really, I unchecked it. So if we wanted to have a message in here saying you checked the checkbox, right? Let's do this. Right, so when I click it, it says you check the checkbox. When I unclick it, it still says you check the checkbox. How do we deal with that? Well, that's kind of a decision statement. If, and the name of my checkbox, I didn't change the name, so it's just called checkbox 1. Checkbox 1 dot checked equals false, then, and remember I need to end if. So if when this got executed, oops, let's make this true, sorry. So when they click the checkbox, if it'll jump out to this event. If it's true, if it's checked, you'll get this message. Let me show you. Okay, you check the checkbox. But if I click this and uncheck it, this code actually got executed as well, but the checkbox.checked was false, so nothing happened. So I could do this. So when I check it, you check the checkbox. When I uncheck it, you uncheck the checkbox. So that's what you need to consider when you're looking at these methods, especially here, like a checkbox, it's either on or it's off, it's checked or it's not. So you have to be careful with that. Now there's other ways to do that. The checked property is actually a Boolean property, so I don't even have to do that. This code will work exactly the same. If I do this, or I could put an else if. Okay, and I could use an if statement if I wanted to. All right. And lots of controls have events associated with them, right? If I put a radio button here, same thing. If I click here, it creates a check changed. So it's going to execute whatever code's inside here every time the status of that radio button is changed, if you select it or if you unselect it. But again, if you have some of these out here that are empty, you should be getting rid of them.